My DoorDash people. Sunday. Hope everybody's doing good and well. I thought I would kind of make an overall video in regards to why things are the way they are when it comes to gig work. And it doesn't matter whether it's DoorDash, Uber Eats, Grubhub, you name it, whatever else is out there. I'm going to kind of explain to you exactly why we're kind of at the place that we're at in terms of the way things go with this gig work. Obviously you guys know, and if you don't know, I've been dashing for the better part of 7-8 years now. I've seen just about every situation possible. I've always kept my ratings good and high from the start of driving. So even rolling into new programs, I rolled right into the top of whatever the program was. Dealt with Top Dasher, which was an amazing program till people complained, and I'm gonna get to the point of why we are where we're at. But all things aside, you see these videos where these dashers throughout the year, and especially at the beginning, or maybe at the end too of the year, posting a video. Is it worth dashing, or is it worth doing this gig work going into the next year? So like right now, it'd be like, is it worth doing DoorDash in 2026? And I personally get tired of seeing these videos because it's always based on that person in that moment in their market, for the most part. And that's not how this works. I've kind of explained some of this stuff before, but for the dashers that and the gig workers that have not seen this, and I'm kind of tying it in to everybody. There's a lot of variables when it comes to this job. And the big blame, let me start off. The big blame as to why we are where we're at and why everybody is so bothered and pissed off, and obviously not everybody, because there's a lot of people out there making money too. But the biggest problem that I see is social media. Social media is what the problem is when it comes to gig work. You might not believe me, but it honestly is. Before social media, people got jobs, people worked jobs, they didn't care and complain. If they did complain, they complained to their coworker, or maybe to a family or a friend or something like that. But it did not change things in the way that they're changing now. When you post something on social media, well, social media can be very powerful, but at the same time, it can be a very bad thing too. When I say social media, okay, I'm in Southern California, and when I say all these variables, when it comes to the pay, these are the things that you have to listen and understand. If you don't understand how these things go, then you have no place of complaining or doing anything about any orders. There are a lot of variables come these type of jobs. For one, DoorDash, Uber Eats, Grubhub, these independent jobs that we all have, whether they're side hustles or if you were doing it full time, these jobs don't take a scientist to do. It doesn't take a mathematician. It doesn't take you to have a special degree to do this type of work, yet people expect to be paid $15, $20, $30 an order, every order. And if they don't get it, there's a complaint about it. When people have to snap into the world of reality and understand that it's not always going to be that. Now, granted, there's a lot of places that have these upside down orders. I totally understand. I totally get it. I'm going to get to that part. So just bear with me for those that are dealing with markets like that. But like I said, with these different variables, it doesn't take a genius to get out here and get in your car and drive to go pick up food, or drive to go and shop a grocery order and go deliver it and put it on somebody's doorstep or hand it to them in their hand. Yet people expect to $20, $30 handed to them for one order. And it's always going to loop back to social media, and you're going to understand by the time I get done with this video. So hope you got a few minutes to spare while you bear with me while I explain all this. I honestly think 50% of this problem we as drivers have caused. Yeah, the companies are always for themselves. Your DoorDash, your Uber Eats, your Grubhub, they're always going to be for themselves. And I've told you that from day one. They will never be for the drivers. And I'm making that very clear. The companies make it very clear. They know what they're doing. It's always going to be for them. So the only thing that you can do as a driver is you have to figure out loopholes, tips, and tricks to then benefit yourself. That's what you need to do to then better yourself in terms of the money that you want to make. Because I'm out here doing what I have to do to make the money that I want to make, and my result behind my work ethic that I do bring to this job, and I only do DoorDash, I do not multi-app. I feel personally that would get me all messed up. So that's the whole thing. You don't mess up a good thing, or don't bite the hand that feeds you. Generally speaking, I'm not going to be greedy. I feel I make way more than enough. Not saying I make too much or anything, but I get paid according to the work ethic that I bring to my DoorDashing. I don't ever have to worry about declining an order. I never decline an order. I've missed a few orders just on a notification reason. But me personally declining an order, no, never. Because I've never gotten an upside down order.
In half a mile, continue straight onto California 60 East. Signs for Pomona, Riverside.
With that said, and bear with me, I'll be right back. Sorry about that. I had to turn my my mapping off. I thought I had it turned off since I'm recording from my phone. But anyways, never declined an order. Never had to worry about it. Like I said, from day one, I had always accepted all my orders because the pay was, I had nothing to base the pay off of, and I thought it was maybe reasonable 7-8 years ago. Granted, I then got invited to be at the time, a catering driver. So I got that perk that I was able to grab catering orders back in the day when they were catering orders, not large order program type of orders. And I've always just stayed at the top. And I was top dasher month after month after month for a couple years, and then 2-3 years, and then now you have this tier program or whatever it is. And like I said, when it comes to why we're at where we're at right now, I want to blame it 50% of on the drivers or whatever it is. I'm sure everybody started out, it was great, it was fine. Generally nobody had problems when they first started dashing or Uber Eats or whatever it was. And then what happens is you slowly become kind of greedy. And what I mean by that is, like, you'll get $5 to $10 orders, and then you get one $20 order, and then all of a sudden all the other orders are crap. And then what happens is you start declining orders because you got a $15, $20, $30 order once or twice. Now that's what you expect, and that's where it's a problem. You got people that's going to school, getting college degrees, this and that, coming out, and they're not even making $20 to $30, $40 an hour, but we're supposed to get this driving job, driving our own car to pick up number ones from McDonald's, and people's expectance is to be making $20, $30, $40, $50 an hour. Now granted, me, on average, I make between $35 and $60 an hour. But my type of work ethic that I bring to this, and this is not to toot my own horn, this is not to piss anybody off. At this point, I'm speaking a real, true reality. My ratings are as high as they possibly can be. Granted, I'm working on getting my customer rating from a 4.99 to a 5-star. Acceptance rating, 100. On-time rating, 100. Even after they added the rating for the on-time part, it's been 100. Completion rating, 100. My shopping rating that they just implemented into the rating system, 6 for 6. And I get paid accordingly. And I'm totally fine with each and every order that I get, because on average, I'm making $3 to $7 per mile. And I'm not saying that that this is what should be the acceptance in terms of how much pay per mile. We're not, let me back up. When we took on these jobs, there was nothing in the contract about how much you're getting paid per mile. In your head, this is what you're putting in your head, what you choose to want to accept. And at the end of the day, from one driver to the next driver are two totally different people. And we, especially as content creators, we cannot get on here and we cannot try to justify what's worth something and what's not worth something. Let's be true. Let's be true. Let's be real. Let's be honest. I don't follow anybody's standard. I get out here and I make what I want to make, just as you should get out here and make what you want to make as a driver. People have bills out there. This is not no damn fantasy world where we can just hope for $20 orders every time we get an offer. The whole country is in turmoil right now in terms of work. People can't find jobs, this and that. And I get it. You're driving your car. You're putting miles on your car. It has to be worth it. I get it. I'm not telling you to accept every offer. I'm not telling you to do that. What I am telling you is you were grown enough to then get up and sign up to do this job knowing that you had to drive your car and put miles on your car and the gas come from out of your pocket or the money that you make from one of these jobs to keep it up. So you can't really complain about the miles. You can't complain about having to put the gas. If you chose to get out here and you drive a Suburban that sucks up gas, that was your decision. If you're out here driving a car that you know you ain't got no business driving, where it's gonna fall apart on you, that was your business. That was your issue. Again, it's not to piss anybody off. You just hear so many people sit and complain, and this is the reason why I created my channel, to try to keep the positivity going in life. We got enough negative stuff to deal with in life as it is, to then get these silly jobs like this and then find things to complain about. Now, I don't know what you're expecting. I didn't know what to expect with this job, but you know what I have done? You know what Corey has done? I have perfected the job to the most that I possibly can, that the system will allow. And with that being said, I've sat at the top and I've gotten paid accordingly. Just think that if every offer came through to your phone and you were able to just accept it without even having to pay attention to how many miles and how much the pay is and this and that. Imagine not having to worry about that. That's me, along with a bunch of other drivers out there that are like that. Whether how I feel about this tiered system or whatever it is, I really don't care for it. Personally, I hate it. I can't stand it. Just like you. I don't know anybody that likes it. Especially coming off the Top Dasher program. I can't stand this program. But it is what it is. And we have made it to get to this point. It's us as drivers that have made it get to this point. As for one, if you're in a market that you get upside down orders on, if you get 9 out of 10 orders that are upside down offers and then you get one decent order, and I'm not even thinking that's going to be a lot in terms of the offer. You get one decent offer and you continue to do this job, you're generally speaking a problem for yourself. You're the one causing yourself the headache and commotion. Because me, Corey, in life, I wouldn't even apply for a job that I felt I didn't get paid good enough for. And if I did start a job and the pay was a certain amount and I got in and the job was a lot harder and a lot worse than what it was and it just wasn't worth it, oh, Corey quit. I quit and I moved on to the next bigger thing. That's simple. Yet, people out here, and I know the job market is crazy, so this is something easy to do, but if it's easy to do the job. Again, I'm not telling you to go and do upside down offers. Like, I'm not telling you to do that, but you're gonna have to pick and choose. Like, it's unfortunate that the market you live in doesn't bring in enough money, or the state you live in and or city doesn't have a high living wage. So if you're living in a place that has a low living wage, don't expect to get high minimum wage jobs there. Like, I'm in Cali. I guess it costs a lot of money to live here. I've been here my whole life. I don't know any different. I choose not to go experience anything else, because then the moment I do, I'll feel like Cali is too expensive and then I can't return back. There's a lot of benefits here in Cali that I don't want to lose trying to go somewhere just to pay a few dollars less in rent. Now, I'm bored out of my mind someplace. Just no. Yeah. We take a lot for granted here in Cali because we live here. We have it here. It's everything is 30 minutes that way is the beach. I can be at the mountains at the snow 45 minutes that way, all in the same day. I can hit both of them. Just being off the coast of California. A few different amusement parks: Disneyland, Six Flags, Knott's Berry Farm. You got San Diego, an hour down the freeway. You got LA, 30 minutes up the freeway. You got Vegas, 3 hours away. Plus, just about every company is here in California, so the cost to live here is it's up there. But also, with that said, the jobs actually pay money as well. They pay a high wage here as well. So now you have to look at that. And when you live in a market, you live in a city and/or state where the minimum wage is nothing. Minimum wage here is under $20, $21 an hour. And you got places that are still $7, $8 an hour, this and that, and you expect you to make $20 plus, $30 plus an hour doing DoorDash in that market. It's not a reality. So, again, social media, I think, is what the big problem is. Other variables that I'm talking about, aside of the cost of living, wherever it is you're at, if your market doesn't bring in a whole lot of money, don't expect to be paid out a whole lot of money. It's just unfortunate where you live and or drive. It's just unfortunate. And if you continue to stay with the company, it's on you at that point. But we have this tier system here. Just so you understand, all orders are based off the last 100 orders, your rating system, the last 100 orders. When you decline one order, that puts you back to where you need to now do the next 99 orders for that to circle around and bounce that one decline off. I don't think you guys realize like how bad you put yourself in when you start declining orders. So now if you're out there, that's just one order, which is bad. You're out here declining 9 out of 10 orders, and then you ask, oh, well, I accepted the last 10 orders and my percentage didn't move up. You're damn right it didn't move up. If you decline the last 9 out of 10, it don't matter if you accept the next 10. You're going to have to accept the next 2, 3, 4, 500 orders before you can see yourself back to 100%. So that's why declining orders is not the move for you if you're trying to get paid a decent amount of money. So what happens is you decline all these orders, you decline, and now you're just cherry picking to get the nice, decent orders. You've declined so much money to wait around to get a $15, $20 order. You're just wasting a whole lot of your time out there in your day, waiting around. Now you got a multi-app. Now you got to bounce around from all these apps to try to decline all these orders to try to get one good one. When your ratings were probably fine at some point, but people begin to get greedy and they start getting into this flow of just declining. They start watching content creators and content creators saying what I'm not gonna do and this and that. And then there you go, following right behind them when you were probably okay. But you slowly start declining, you slowly start getting to a point to where your work ethic just goes down the crapper. Now you're so far in a ditch you can't get yourself out of. So now all we can do is now get on here and complain about DoorDash. Again, I go back to social media. Social media is the problem. Nobody would be the wiser. Nobody would know. You'd sign up, you do the job, you get out there and you be doing your job. You have some people that still say that maybe it ain't worth it, but now it's just to yourself. It ain't worth it, I'm not gonna do it, or I'm a cherry pick or whatever it is, and that's just it. But it's between you and yourself. It's not let me get on here and get on social media and get all these drivers to a point to where they're cherry picking and then they're all complaining because they're not getting orders. And it's like your ratings were actually probably pretty decent until you started cherry picking because you listened to somebody say, oh no, just cherry pick your orders. Only get the good ones, when you're not realizing that you're just tanking your ratings to a point to where DoorDash, Uber Eats, they don't want to give you any good offers because you've put yourself at the bottom percentage of drivers in terms of work ethic. But for me, the payout is justified. The work ethic that I bring is justified because the payout that I get. But you'd have to get yourself to the top. And I'm not really trying to hear that, oh, well, I'm not going to accept all these crappy orders just to be in platinum. You have no idea. And I'd like to say 90% of you that sit there and say that have never been in platinum tier to know. Don't get it twisted that I'm siding with DoorDash. Please don't do that, because I'm out here as a driver just like everybody else. And if I'm making what I'm making and I'm justifying the money that I do make by doing what I do, you can too. There's a lot of other drivers that do as well. I just happen to be a content creator that's just on the other side versus 90% of the content creators out there. But it's just because the situations that they've gotten themselves in, and they can't get themselves out, that all they can do left is now talk about the company. Yet these drivers, if you notice, keep driving for the company. Or if you don't like the company that much, why are you still here? It's all a common sense thing to me, and it's just not making any sense. Things are just not adding up. And I'm not here for content. This is just some little side thing that I do. It started out just to help people. My first video was just a 30-minute video just to help people with tips and tricks how to dash. This wasn't no long-term thing for me. This wasn't no plan for me. I was just curious how you make a video, how you post it, get a few views, and help a few people. My first video turned out to be so big, 66,000 views later over a couple years' time, has helped so many people. So many people. Cooped with the positivity that I bring, generally speaking, with DoorDashing, because I am a driver and I still am a driver. Now over 130 videos later, a couple years later. And that was 2 months into my channel. I became a YouTube partner in 2 months' time. Where it generally is taking people a year, and if not, they have to work on it the next year. It starts all over for them with certain requirements that they have to fill. So it just kind of worked out for me, but I just wanted to see myself as a different type of driver than what I'm seeing out there. And every person you pick up and you watch, most of them, oh, upside down offers, crappy orders, this and that, this and that, this and that. Yeah, your ratings are crap. Let's just speak the truth. Your ratings are crap. You put yourself in a bad spot. If you look at it like a day job, a permanent job, you think you're gonna go to work and do crappy work and then get rewarded and benefited, and you think they're gonna call you in your office and give you a raise? No. But why is this job so, there's an exception for this job? Why? How? Because you signed up to use your car and put miles on it and put your gas, that now you just expect to get the same pay that, let's just say me, the same pay that I get paid. There's drivers out there that can just sit and decline all day long, but the orders they do get are supposed to still be in the pay range that I get paid. When I'm out here and my work ethic is as strong as it is, my ratings are as high as they can go. It can't get no higher. You actually expect that same type of pay when you come and you cherry pick orders and this and that and this and that. Like I said, 90% of you never been in platinum to even know. And if you did hit it, you weren't in it long enough to really see the actual value, the difference. And there are a lot of people that did realize it real quick. And some, it took some time. They were in silver and gold. They were cherry picking this and that. They realized, like, hey, I ain't making no money. They got themselves out of that ditch, and they created a rating system for themselves that got them paid, and now they realized how beneficial the platinum tier was. I'm not telling you one way or another what to do with your driving and then how you dash, so let's not make this about he's telling me to accept crappy orders. You're gonna have to accept crappy orders to get to a top performing driver, in that sense, to even get the highest amount of pay that you can get in your market, period. If you own the DoorDash, I'm talking to each and every one of you, if you own the DoorDash and you're the one paying out these drivers, wouldn't you want to pay out your top drivers? Now, don't get that confused with top crazy amounts of money. I'm saying in every market, the platinum driver makes more money than the silver and the gold tier driver. I don't care how much money it is. I'm telling you, in the platinum tier, you will make the most money in your market. You will. But then you got a lot of people get on here, oh man, $4 order for a mile. Because you're looking at the big number for how much they're paying you for that order, not realizing that you got paid $4 for 1 mile. But what you're looking for, you're just looking for a $20 order to go a mile or two. And that reality of that is just doesn't happen. So no, that was a platinum offer. I get them all the time. $4 for half a mile. On average, I get that per mile. $3 to $7 a mile. That's average to what I get. Again, I go back to social media. Social media is the problem. It's a very big problem. Because nobody's seeing anybody complain about anything. Everybody's just out there making the money that they want to make, and whatever money they don't make is just on them. They're declining it. That's it. Nobody's the wiser. Nobody sees or has to hear anybody. But there's so many followers out there, and even me in the position I am and how good I am in terms of these jobs. I go to Uber Eats and do the same exact thing. So it's not me trying to sell off DoorDash as this special place or anything like that. I can go to Grubhub, I can go to Uber Eats, and I can do the same exact thing there. Because the work ethic that I'm gonna bring, if I'm gonna be out here wasting my time and or money and miles on my car, I'm gonna make sure that it's at a benefit for me. And if that means that I'm going off of a rating system that's going to pay me accordingly, so be it. Every year I make enough money to buy me a new car if I want to. Every year. That's the ratings that I bring myself to get paid what it is that I want to get paid. And it slowed down with me as far as the haters and this and that, because I've brought receipt after receipt after receipt, done video after video after video, proving otherwise. A lot of people didn't believe me. They started seeing more videos to a point to where I just stopped posting them, because I'm just like, what's the point? There's just always going to be a hater. But again, the variables that are out there, from the cost of living, the minimum wage, that is from city to city, state to state, are all different. You cannot compare all these variables, on top of the fact that you have a rating system that you as a driver have to fulfill in that whole mix of other things too, to determine the amount of money that you're going to get per offer. What I make here in California, you're not going to make in the middle of Idaho or the middle of North Dakota. It's just not going to happen. The market there is not strong enough. We're talking Southern California compared to a place like that. And I'm not speaking bad about a place like that. It's the reality of things. You're in an area and in a market where they don't bring in that type of money yet. You watch my video and now you set this standard, or you set a standard with other content creators. Again, social media, you're watching them. Oh, they're getting paid $15, $20, $30 an order. That's my standard, what I want to make. So then you start declining orders because you want to make what the next man or woman makes. When they're in a whole different sector, they're in a whole different city, state, market, whatever you name it. Yet we're all trying to standardize this amount of money. Where at the end of the day, you get out here, you do the job, you make the money you need to make to pay your bills, bring money home for the table, or bring food to your family. That's what you need to be doing. Like I said, we didn't sign up. They didn't say a certain amount of money that we were going to make per mile. Now, in your mind, you can have it with a certain number that you do want to make. That's totally fine. Me, I operate a little bit different. I've said this before. When I get out and dash, whatever shift I dash, call it 2 hours, 4 hours, 8 hours, 12 hours, which is my max that we can drive here in California. I look at the total that I make over a whole day or a whole shift's time in one day, and I average my orders out. I average them out per hour, what it is that I make. I do all my orders. I total all my orders up at the end of the day. I divide it into the amount that I made in total, and this is what I made per hour. I don't look at it order for order, because 9 times out of 10, yeah, I got a $4 order. Yes, I got a second $4 order, but hey, I got a $30 order here. I got a $35 order here. This and that, so it all balances itself out at the end of the day, where I end up making $25, $30, $35 an hour and an average of 8, 10, 12 hours a day that I'd be driving. I'm not being focused on this stupid, silly $4 order that I did so quick that I made $4. Made $4 and call it 5 or 10 minutes. You have people out there that are making $8, $9 a whole hour minimum wage wise. I made $4 to take something a half a mile away that cost me 5, 10 minutes tops. $4. You have to make it all make sense. You have to make it work for yourself. Is there a difference that I don't look at it for each order versus I look at it as an overall balance of money at the end of the day? No, there's no difference. It's the way that you perceive it, the way you look at it. At the end of the day, this is how many orders I did. This is what I made averagely per hour, and that's it. Not, oh, I had so many $4 orders and so many $9 orders, but I had a couple of $25 orders, which were great. But all that does is make you decline these little orders, which then puts you in that ditch that you find yourself in. You come on social media, you're watching these, and there are a lot of big channels, a lot of big channels. No hate towards them. I love the fact that the channels have just grown and grown and grown, because people are attached to drama. People are attached to negativity. Nobody really wants to see the positive side or boring side of things. They want to hear somebody talking smack. They want to see somebody fighting. They want to see this and that. And what does that get you? You got that YouTuber, not rich, but you got that YouTuber making all kind of crazy money. And my channel may not be as big, and I'm not concerned about it. I've never been concerned about it, generally speaking. I'm not one to be like, oh yeah, like and subscribe, blah, blah. I don't think I've ever said that in any one of my videos. Maybe my first one, maybe. But even then, I don't think so. And it's because that's not my focus here, for people to generally like and or subscribe. Of course, I appreciate it when they do. I've gotten myself to just a little bit under 5,000 subs, which I appreciated, but without you guys, there is no me. I mean, there is a me, but as far as a YouTube and a content creator, there is no me without you guys, so I do appreciate it nonetheless. But my point of my channel was to bring positivity and to alert you and make you aware of these things, to bring you from out of this fantasy world that a lot of you find yourselves in, and you just end up hurting yourself. The variables, way too many variables. I keep telling you guys. So you get out here and you dash for yourself. Don't get out here following the next man or the next person. Because it's about what you end up with at the end of the day that you bring home to your family or to yourself or your account or whatever. So when people make these videos, oh, is it worth doing DoorDash for 2026? It don't matter what you think. That person needs a job. It's a job that they can get out and go do, as easy as it is. You can't say whether it's worth it or not, because where it may not be worth it for you in your market, it may be great for somebody in the next market. So those videos aren't really the greatest, because you can't really speak from a full spectrum of the country to be telling anybody, because people can be watching this even outside the country. People can be watching this and they're taking your word for it because of what you deal with in your market. When maybe 2 or 3 markets over, they're making a killing, but you're only reporting the market that you drive in. So to be saying what's worth it and what's not worth it is not okay. And that's why I, generally speaking, never really made a video like that to say, oh, is it worth driving in blah, blah, blah. And every year the same creators do it. Is it worth it? Is it worth it? Is it worth it? They do it 2 or 3 times in a year. You have to make this what you want it to be, people. And I know that's a fact, because I'm nobody special. When I say this, I am absolutely nobody special to get the pay that I get, to have the ratings that I have. I don't think I'm that special out there in the world to be in the position that I am in terms of the amount of pay that I get. I know there's a lot of drivers out there that can be in that same position, but people become greedy. People don't want to bring the work ethic. I don't want to say greedy, but you don't want to bring the work ethic, but you expect to get paid a lot of money. Got a lot of drivers with attitudes that are just crappy. We deal with a lot of merchants that are crappy, but we have to roll it off our shoulder and we have to keep going. At the end of the day, you'll lose. You show them attitude, they will block you from picking up at their restaurant. So it's best to just keep on a positive note, to make it easier for yourself at the end of the day. To add to all this, when you decline customers, DoorDash tends to not send you that customer request again. Maybe they'll try a few times, but if you keep declining, not only will they block you from certain customers, there's restaurants that will block you for your attitude, and on top of that, you declining certain restaurants so many times, they will block you from getting orders from the restaurant. They're like, he never accepts orders from this restaurant, upside down order or not. So they block you. And now that's less and less merchants that you can deal with, because now you've been blocked. Same thing with the customers. Got to do your best to have the highest customer rating that you possibly can. Put your best foot forward when it comes to dealing with these customers. And I know there's some unruly customers out there. I've had my share of them, but I got to roll them off my shoulder and I got to keep going. I'm the one that's going to end up paying for it if I end up out there with an attitude or this and that or blah, blah, blah. The better you're off with your customers, the more of a bigger Rolodex that you're building for yourself, a bigger customer clientele in a sense. Same thing with merchants. You're good with them, they'll continue to send you orders. You're good with the customers, they give you 5-star, they will continue to get to know you as a driver, because they will become a repeat customer. Oh yeah, that's the guy that took care of me last time. His orders have always been good. Hey, babe, send him $10. Send him $1, send him $5. Any tips that we get, I appreciate it. It's another thing, tips. I do not depend on tips, none at all, because I stay humble about them. A lot of you guys walking around like they don't tip me, they ain't nothing. I ain't accepting nothing. You haven't even provided the service yet. Yet you're telling somebody what you're gonna accept and what you're not gonna accept. When you go to a restaurant, you get sat down, you don't just throw a tip out there on the table. No, you wait for your service to get completed, and then you get your tip. You actually got to get out there and work for your tip. But oh no, you got to see that there's a tip already included. When what if you're a crappy driver? What if you don't pay attention to instructions? They give you gate codes, they give you places to sit the food, and do not put the food in front of the door that swings out. Yet you guys do it, but you want to see an order with a tip. I'll tell you right now, if you're working this job depending on tips, you might as well quit. If you already have that attitude, it's not the way to have it. Tips are to be worked for. And I do not depend on them. That's extra, that's truly extra money for me. Tips is truly extra money, because the moment you start depending on tips is the moment you've lost already. And now you're just gonna start declining because, oh, they didn't include a tip. And if they gave you $1, you're probably not okay with it just being $1. Oh, they gave me a funky $1. What they need to give you to be okay? What, $3, $4, $5, and you'd be okay? But that's what we've done. That's what social media has done to people. You get on here, you watch this crap goes viral, something that happened to one person, and then it gets blown up and out there, and now all these people following right behind. So then as a company with DoorDash and Uber Eats, now they have to make adjustments because of things that's being promoted out there. Oh, let's promote declining. Hey, that'll do it. Let's promote declining and DoorDash will pay us more. You know what that got us? It got us this goddamn tier system program. You little drivers, you want to decline something, right? Okay. Well, decline this. And you put yourself in the silver tier. And now the only orders you're getting are orders that platinum or gold drivers may be declining, that gets dropped down to you. You're just going to get the crap end of the type of offers that you get because you want to decline and you want to promote declining, thinking that that's going to turn DoorDash to just start giving up money all because you complain. The company has to always be for themselves first. Because you make a complaint video about upside down offers that they're going to just turn over and open their bank account to us, and let's just start giving them $20 an order, everybody. You know how fast DoorDash will go under? So now a system has to be put together to then determine who the top drivers are. We had Top Dash and you guys made it a problem, being greedy. Now we're to this tier system thing, and oh man, it's a problem for everybody. And all because of declining and promoting. And again, I circle back around to social media being the problem. If we didn't have social media, I wouldn't be able to see Joe, Jack, or Sam and all their crappy complaints that they end up having. Even if they're valid complaints, I would never see them. So on my end, I'm just doing what I got to do. And because I see them over here, I'm like, yeah, I ain't going to accept it either. You're not going to accept some money because somebody else didn't accept some money, so now you follow it. Please. At the end of the day, when I get out in the streets to drive, I set myself, generally speaking, with the goal of what I want to make. I get out there and I make that money, I go home. At the end of the day, I have my $200-$300, and that's all that matters. I'm not concerned about whether I did so many $5 orders or $6 orders and this and that and blah, blah, blah. No, I came home with the $300 that I said I needed to make or wanted to make and bring home. And you can do the same, but you got to get yourself out that ditch. And that ditch is going to be very difficult to get out of. It's very easy to decline and get yourself in that, but it's very difficult to climb out of that ditch. And now all you're doing is just complaining because now you're like, oh, well, it ain't even worth being in platinum because I have the silver and the gold orders are just crappy, so I know platinum's going to be crappy. How would you know? You've never been in platinum, and especially long enough to even notice the difference. You're platinum one day, and then all of a sudden life is over because it wasn't what you thought it was going to be one day. And life is easier to maintain being on top than to have yourself at the crappy bottom end. Always remember that, people. Always remember that. If you're going to do the job, you might as well do it to where it benefits you. You might as well put yourself in the most best position that you can be in to benefit you. Stop getting out here following people. Be better for yourself. Make the money that you want to make. And maybe we'd have some better stories out there. Not so many people complaining about a place that they put their own self in. And again, with all the variables, the rating system, social media is the blame, is the problem. Trying to make awareness, but that it does absolutely nothing. Ain't nobody changing over a bit or nothing. So you keep on, you keep going. keep on complaining and see what next program it is. And we trying to get this other program, this updated one. It ain't started yet, and it's probably something I'm gonna talk about on another video. But like I said, stop comparing one driver to the next, one state, one city to the next. Like, everything is different. Depending on what the money that gets brought in will determine what you get paid per offer. And that can be up to platinum. If your market just does not bring in enough money, they're not going to pay you a whole lot of money. Now, what you make, again, you will make the most you can there in that market being a platinum driver, but don't expect a whole lot. So I will leave you guys at that, people. I just thought I would come on here and just kind of throw some reality at you when it comes to things and why things work out for me. I don't get out here and I don't dash based on anybody's doings come DoorDash. I get out here and do what I need to do to make the money that I need to make. If it means my ratings are at the top, try it out and see. Get yourself to the top and see whether it's worth it or not. And if it's not, have the conscious decision to just quit DoorDash, period. Don't sit and keep hanging around and, let me cherry pick and just stay mad at DoorDash, but let me keep driving for them at the same time, and just where I look stupid. I don't have time to waste. I'm not going to bother with a company that's not paying me accordingly. That said, people, your boy C Moto, you always know what it is. Any questions, comments, thoughts, good or bad, don't matter. Type down below. Get at me. You know me, I'm one to always respond to each and every question, each and every comment that is left. That is one thing that I feel I always owe you guys. Whether it's a good comment, a bad comment, I will acknowledge you in some sort of way, shape, or form. I owe that to you. I feel like I do. Even the people that have it out for me. I'll go back and forth with you until you understand where I'm coming from, because I know my worth. I know my value when I'm out here doing this job. So it ain't nothing that one can say to bring me down, because I'm actually out here making the money. So you say all the bad you want. Until next time, your boy C Moto, you know what it is. Always. Peace out.